all over the world. Welcome to episode of Lazio Lounge. Another good result for Lazio because this is another important win against Sassuolo, away game. A lot of things to talk about, and it's not only Sassuolo. We have to talk about the Champions League game coming against Feyenoord. It's going to be really, really important, Alasdair McKenzie, to get some points out of this away game against Feyenoord, right? Because after the win against Celtic, Lazio is in a situation that they can get even a draw would be positive in the Champions League against Feyenoord, remembering that then you have the home game against Feyenoord, even though it's the week of the derby. So it's going to be very complicated. But let's go back to last Saturday. Lazio beating Sassuolo 2-0. I said it was the best performance so far this season of Lazio. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I do. I was going to ask you that as my first question today. So you've already answered my question. So maybe we should just finish the podcast here. I think in terms of the overall performance, the 90-minute performance, the combination of finally being able to both defend well, limit their opportunities, keep a clean sheet, and create more chances, I think, in a game than we've seen at any point this season. Really encouraging, especially because when you consider what we were saying last week was basically that we just don't really know what Lazio we're going to see when they get back after the international break. Some encouraging signs before then, but not this level of performance. So all of a sudden, things are looking brighter, aren't they? Because this is, like you say, best performance of the season leading into the Champions League night, and the form charts suddenly look quite nice. 4 wins in the last 5 games. So, yeah, feeling pretty positive today.
I would add that the first 20 minutes, Lazio should have scored. The 2-0 results, it's not enough from my point of view. We created so many chances. I think we had like 10 shots on target and we scored only twice. We have to do better, from my point of view. We missed too many opportunity. And we're going to talk about Providence later. But, games like that are never over if you don't score 3-4 goals. So maybe the improvement has to be there. We have to score more goals when we have the chances.
Yeah, it was in the back of my mind a little bit, the Inter Sassuolo game before the break, where that felt like it was kind of cruising towards an easy win at San Siro, and Sassuolo suddenly scored. I think they scored 2 in 5 minutes or something, and bam, the game was completely changed. So yeah, you've got a point there. Then again, it was such a controlled performance that it didn't feel like that was on the brink of happening. Yes, they do have the players who can change things in an instant, but I do think it was that control that was probably the most encouraging thing of the whole performance. Yes, ideally you want to be sticking away more of these chances. But look, I mean, this has been one of the main things we've been complaining about this season, hasn't it? The failure to create enough opportunities in the games. We've spoken before about how Lazio's, lower middle table for shots per game in Serie A this season. They're just not getting enough opportunities. So, yeah, okay, you could potentially create a criticism there, but I do think overall it's a massive improvement simply because they showed so much more in attack. And generally, the team looked better connected, which has been another issue this season. So, yeah, I mean, Castellanos, what did you think? I mean, it was another opportunity for him to start, to show what he can do. How did you feel like it went?
Well, in the last 2 games, 2 assists and 1 goal. So he should be feeling very happy. I thought he missed a chance, but created a lot of other opportunity. I thought he had a good game, which is encouraging. The fact that this is the third consecutive start in Serie A for him, it's a good sign. I mean, he's probably the Vice Immobile who played more so far. I mean, that's a good sign. We said it. He looks like a very interesting player. He's still very young, so encouraging sign. And this leads me to the question: Wednesday, Champions League, Feyenoord Lazio. Who is your number 9, Ciro or Castellanos? Because this is what a lot of Lazio fans is thinking about. Don't say Felipe Anderson.
Providel?
Could be.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. To be honest, I would say that is one of the trickiest selection calls that Sarri will probably have had to make as a Lazio coach, because it's not been very often that he's been in a position where there's such a big game and he's got a deep enough squad of players competing with each other that it actually puts him in a difficult position to decide. I think he'll go with Ciro if Ciro's fit. I guess there's a difference between what the two questions of what you think he'll do and what you would do yourself. And God, I don't know. I'm not really sure what I would do myself, because Castellanos, I don't know. I think you have to reward good form, and he is in good form. Then again, Chiro's got a bit of fire in the belly at the moment. He hasn't just played 90 minutes a few days earlier, so he should be fresher as long as his injury problems are behind him. And he's Ciro. He knows where the goal is, even if he's not started the season in great form. And there's this whole palaver about that interview that we spoke in length about last week. He's still Ciro Immobile. He knows how to find the net in these games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Sarri would start Ciro Immobile, but in my opinion, Castellanos would be probably a good fit. Even though we have to say Feyenoord is in incredible shape, right? How many consecutive wins in the league? 8, something like that. But I saw the game against Atletico Madrid, and they are very, very good attacking, but they are not great defending. I mean, the 2 goals of Atletico Madrid are not terrible, but bad mistakes from the defense. So, with Ciro there in the box, that if they make a mistake, if they leave a ball there in the penalty box, Ciro will punish you. So I think this is why probably we'll see Ciro starting. But yeah, this is the first time we finally have, a challenge there, because it was Ciro. If Ciro is able to walk, he's going to play, right? And things are changing a little bit. And I know that he has to adapt to this different situation that never happened to him before. But I think for the team, it's great news.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just reminded me of that. I sent you a video on WhatsApp yesterday. It's worth finding if you can on Twitter, of someone's managed to put together this kind of audition video of all these kids trying to sing a song, and they're all horribly out of tune, and each kid has a name of a different former Vice Mobile. So there's Cancellieri and Morici and Cabral, and then the kid who comes and starts singing beautifully is Castellanos. So
it's lovely how you explained the TikTok. Thanks.
The search is over. Yeah, I mean, I think, we still need to reserve judgment a little bit about Castellanos. It's definitely a very promising start, but I don't think we want to start piling too much pressure on the guy either. So I think it's good to have a system in place where we can do what we've always wanted to do, which is basically rotate the team between Serie A and Europe, and feel like we've got a good chance of winning every game, because the guys who are coming in are still of, a starting first 11 quality. And, even beyond the new signings, I think that the form of guys like Pedro and Vecino has been really encouraging, that they're kind of not nailed on starting 11 players, but they're playing well enough recently to suggest that they could be, and and easily get results with them in the team. So I think it's nice. I mean, it's basically a continuation of what we were saying before the international break, where those wins against Celtic and Atalanta, it was finally us seeing the theory of this new summer signings creating a greater squad depth, which allows you to have more consistency with games every 3 days. That was all a theory up until then, because we hadn't seen the results on the pitch. But now we are starting to see the fruits of that.
Absolutely. And even against Sassuolo, right? Against Sassuolo, Pedro finally started his first game. Guendouzi started, and he played well. And in the second half, we rotated. Zaccagni came in, and I thought he played really well. Cataldi came in, and he hit a post. That was an incredible shot. So, Vecino came in, and he missed a huge chance, Alasdair. What a chance he missed, Vecino. Last year,
Not calling him Vesinovic Savic today, then.
I forgot. Yeah, Vesinovic Savic missed a great chance. Well, he wasn't Vesinovic Savic on Saturday because otherwise he would have scored. So he was back to Vesino. He forgot. But compared to last year, imagine we take off Luis Alberto. The game is over for us, right? You had a ton of games where we struggled the last 10, 15 minutes because we were bringing in Basic, Marcos Antonio Cancellieri, who pretty much didn't do nothing. And now we're bringing Zaccagni, who hit the post, created so many chances. Cataldi hit the post. Ciro had a chance. Vecino missed a couple of chances. So you see, this time our bench didn't score like last time, but what an improvement compared to the past. So it's good. We rotated starters. We had some substitution coming in, having a huge impact. And on Wednesday, we are here wondering, okay, who will start? Ciro, Zaccagni, Cataldi, Kamada will probably start on Wednesday. He didn't play Saturday. So this is huge for us, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I do wonder if the break has helped a little bit as well. The opportunity to rest a bit, because like we said before, there hasn't been that many international players who've been away. A bit of rest, a bit of time for Sarri to, actually do the things he likes doing: analysis, coaching. Actually, he doesn't really like analysis, does he? Because he said he feels like a film director. But yes, it's. I think it was really important, like more important than probably most people give it credit for, that result, because it would change so much in terms of the atmosphere if they hadn't managed to win that game. To feel like you're suddenly building up to something, and then to get the break, put a bit off kilter, and then get that bad result and be kind of heading to the Netherlands with a lot of pressure. So it's good to be going into that game with a feeling of kind of optimism and belief in what's happening in the squad and how it's being put together. Like I say, in putting that theory into practice. The defense, I think that this is going to be a real test. I don't think they did well against Sassuolo without having to deal with a huge amount. But this Feyenoord team, they score a lot of goals, don't they?
Yeah, they're very good, and they will have Jimenez back, who missed the first 2 games in the Champions League, and he's a very good striker. He has been linked with Lazio this summer, right? So
twice against us last season, didn't he, in that 4-2 game?
Yeah, so it's going to be a huge challenge for us. Again, I think it's going to be a very interesting game because, as you were mentioning, they are very good attacking, but they concede something in defense. So we have to be very good in taking our chances and not conceding them. And after the performance of Saturday of Patrick, who had an unbelievable game, do you think Sarri is going to rotate? Will Casale play this time?
I don't know. Again, it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard. I think Patrick's kind of put his hand up recently.
Yeah.
It might depend a little bit about what kind of challenge he's expecting from the Feyenoord front line, and because obviously Patrick and Casale are different kinds of player and might be suited better to different kinds of challenges. But like I said, this is going to be the biggest test probably so far this season of how far they've come. I mean, I was looking at the league table. I mean, they've scored 32 goals in 9 games.
Yeah, it's Eredivisie. Let's point out this.
Okay, it is, but to put it in context, I mean, they're still the. I was looking back to the 13th of August. Since then, they've scored at least 2 goals in every single game. generally it's been four, five, six rather than two. So okay, even if it's Eredivisie, there's levels of that is still a lot of goals for a team to be scoring. And they beat Celtic comfortably with a 2-0 win. They got 2 goals against Atletico Madrid. So it is a real test, for where this defense is at, I think.
Yeah, well, we played against Atletico Madrid. Let's not forget that. I mean, that was the biggest challenge for me. But 2 points, two things. The first one, how different is last year? We knew already the starting 11, right? Sari would have changed one or two players. This year, we don't know. Is Chiro's going to play? Who's going to be the wingers? Because I think Zaccagni could start. The defense, Casale could be there. Patrick could be there. I think the left back will change. I think maybe Pellegrini could start. Isai could be there. Maybe I don't think he's going to risk Lazzari in a game like that. But so many things can change, and this is really important. We have to be careful because they are very dangerous teams. So I think we have to come with the right mindset, because one of the things that we didn't, well, that was different against Sassuolo because we started really strong, but in the other games, the first 20 minutes were terrible. So we have to be very careful on those 20 minutes, because I think they're going to start to try to score immediately and then try to control the game. So we have to be very careful there. My opinion, I think Casale Romagnoli will be the starting central defense for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is still the go-to, isn't it? And I think it's still the first choice. While there has been a lot of rotation in this team and the bench guys have been doing well, I still think you can probably name the starting 11, first choice starting 11, relatively easily. I think there's one midfield spot that's kind of up for grabs. But otherwise, I think you would expect, Ciro with Zaccagni and Felipe, you'd expect Alberto Ravella, and you'd expect Hussein Maricic, Casale and Romagnoli. I know Lazio played pretty well against Sassuolo, but I still think in the big games that Sarri tends to go with the Hussein Maricic combo.
Don't you think Cataldi could start Wednesday?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, or Vecino even. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, 2 midfield spots. You've got a point. I just have really been impressed by Ravella. I really liked him. You're right that it's not nailed on, not quite yet, but I do think he's made a really good impact on the team in the last few games.
So in the 2 Champions League game, Sarri selected always the same midfield: Vecino, Kamada, Luis Alberto.
Yeah.
Will it change this time, or do you think this is the Champions League midfield for us?
I do wonder if he'll start Vecino, but as a mid-Salah rather than in the middle. Because, I mean, he has... It's been strange in a way, because when you look at the Lazio midfields that have been picked so far this season, Alberto and Kamada is the combo you see most often as the 2 mid-Salah. But you've also had Sarri saying effectively that he's not entirely sure if that works or if it can work. But then we saw that last season. He was saying the same thing about Sergei and Alberto. So I do wonder if he might go with Vecino on the side of a Ravella or a Cataldi.
Well, to be honest with you, it has been the combo most used because they started the first 4 games in Serie A. But in the last 2 games in Serie A, it has been Rovella, Guendouzi, Luis Alberto starting. So I don't think he's picking the midfield. I think he's still going to rotate. But it's funny to notice how in the Serie A game, the last 3 games in Serie A, he picked Guendouzi, Rovella, Luis Alberto. In the 2 Champions League game, he picked Kamada, Vecino, and Luis Alberto. I don't think it's a casualty. I think there's something there. But yeah, it's funny. Cataldi hasn't started since what was it? The 5th game of the Serie A.
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of challenge for the midfield. So perhaps it could be a different style of midfield that's picked, because Atletico and Celtic games, I think they were expecting a bit more of a battle in that midfield than than they will in this game, where it's likely to be a more fast, more open game. Um, so perhaps there is space for Kamada and Luis Alberto to start together. Perhaps we don't need Vecino, as the regista if he's not needing that kind of physical presence as much. I don't know. Yeah, it is definitely the one part of the team that's still hard to call. Apart from Alberto, what did you think about Alberto? There was a bit of doubt about his fitness coming to this game. Yet he starts, and then he's absolutely furious when he gets substituted, even though there was only 10 minutes to go and we're 2-0 up.
Big surprise, right? Well, he said that when he's enjoying playing, he hates to get sub, and he said he was enjoying it Saturdays. So, and it makes sense. He was playing so well that I can understand he was having fun. But I think you have to give a little bit of rest to players like Luis Alberto. He's started every single game, so he need to be sub. And plus, we have option now. We have Kamada, so I think it's good to rest him because he's gonna start on Wednesday. The player who never get off at the moment is Romagnoli, so he's the only one who hasn't been subbed so far. Obviously, Provedel is the other one. But yeah, great performance from Luis Alberto. But it was encouraging even to see how Felipe Anderson played.
Yeah, I mean, well, just on Alberto, I thought it was quite funny that this happened on the day he's wearing the captain's armband as well. Kind of like, come on, man, this is not the time to be behaving like that. It's just not the kind of way a captain of all people should be responding to that. But anyway,
it was funny, Alasdair, that I don't know if you saw it on the bench. He was there and he was saying he was swearing Spanish, and he's been there for like 5 minutes saying all bad things to, I guess, Martuscello for the substitution. It was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've not even mentioned, but Sarri was allowed to have a little fag break for this game. Martuscello in charge, and has he not got a very good record? I can't remember exactly what it is.
I think every game he was on the bench, we won. So it's incredible.
Just need to get Sarri getting banned more often then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Felipe Anderson, yeah, I think, yeah, great performance. I mean, it's the kind of performance, I guess, that you see from time to time. I think it is hard, probably. Maybe you disagree, but I think it is quite hard to get too excited about these kind of games from Felipe Anderson because we know that they happen. We know that they'll happen maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. And then the next time he plays, it probably won't be like that. So fantastic stuff. I do hope that it's a sign of, he's going to be playing at that level consistently. But we already knew, we know he's capable of that level, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, Feyenoord is going to be a nice challenge. I want to see if he's going to play well in that situation. It's going to be vital for us. I think Feyenoord will give him space. So if he takes it, I think he can have an unbelievable game. And obviously, it's going to be important to have Felipe and Zaccagni. I think Zaccagni is going to be the other winger starting. They have a great opportunity against Feyenoord. But what was your thought when Provedel did the Maximiliano thing on Saturday? I said, wow, I think I already saw this thing last year, right?
I was thinking, well, I didn't see this coming. Luigi Seppi is going to be Serie A goalkeeper of the year this year.
Well, there were rumors that Mandadas could be the substitution, but
yeah, I think. Well, to begin with, I thought it was out. I thought he was out of the box. It looked like it from the angle on the TV. I've seen the angle that they showed to overturn the decision, and yeah, he seems to be right on the limit. I just don't know why he really took the risk. I mean, you can leave that one hanging in the air a little bit longer and you're not. And goalkeepers are so overprotected anyway that as soon as there's some contact on him from anyone trying to get the ball, he'll probably get a free kick. So yes, there was some sort of kind of inbuilt thing in the Lazio goalkeeper's head, seemingly that they need to, push that one right to the limit. I think doing a Maximiano is quite a harsh legacy on that guy. That's now how he's remembered.
Did you think Maximiano saw this and said, "Wow, he's trying to imitate me"?
Well, I think Maximiano's was worse because it was on the ground. I mean, it's kind of obvious when it's on the ground. At least when it's high up in the air, you're not. It's a bit harder to work out where the boundaries are. But yeah, that was a strange one. But no, good that he's back and he's fit and everything, because I think that was another one that there were a couple of concerns about last week. So
yeah, because you overplayed this game, but we were having a lot of question marks. Ciro out, Zaccagni not fit, Luis Alberto as well wasn't 100% fit. Provedel didn't train pretty much all last week. So we have huge question marks. And, I can understand that you have Castellano, Ciro Immobile can rest, but we don't have a great goalkeeper. I mean, apart from Provedel, Sepe, it's a decent goalkeeper, but it's not the same level as Provedel. So that would have been a huge question mark, a huge problem going forward, right?
yeah, I mean, I would say Sepe is the kind of classic Serie A backup goalkeeper level. No, I mean, you don't necessarily want the situation we had last year. I mean, ideally you do, but it's very difficult to manage having two goalkeepers who are the same level. So I think having someone who's dependable, but who's not going to get upset about not starting every week, is kind of ideal. And Sepe's played a lot in Serie A. I know what you mean. He's not a Provedel, but he is a Serie A goalkeeper.
Yeah, but still some concern. I mean, he's lost his job in Salernitana. It's not that he lost his job in Real Madrid. So, and Salernitana is not going great this year so far. So, but yeah, I mean, when I saw it happen, I thought, oh my God, we're gonna really not win this game for this stupid thing. But finally, luckily enough, Di Bello, who was exaggerated, I thought he was looking forward to send Provedel out. He now with the VAR system, you should have waited, and maybe the VAR should have tell you, hey, he was out of the box, red card, instead of what happened if Provedel gets the ball, he kicks it away and we score. I mean, we miss a chance, right?
Here we go. It's Vittorio's refereeing corner.
That's terrible. It wasn't only my point of view this time. Even the zone expert said that was a terrible mistake.
Yeah, but I think you can see why he's done it, though. Like I said, I thought it was out. It was right on the boundary. I mean, you can see why that's his instinct, can't you?
Yeah, but you are watching the game from home, and you are not called to judge. They don't call you, hey, was it foul or not? Shall we continue? You're the ref. You cannot be doubtful. You have to be sure. Same thing, the linesman. The linesman was 5 meters away, and he said, it's out. You couldn't see that. And you have the VAR. You continue playing. You say, hey, they're checking. Don't bother me. And if from the VAR say, hey, it was out, he comes back, free kick and red card.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. Yeah, your refereeing rant is permitted this week.
Well, then I could continue talking about the yellow cards. We didn't talk about Guendouzi. I thought he had a huge impact in the game. Do you think he's slowly getting in the system, in the study system?
Yeah, I think so. I think they all are. I think they all are. It's been encouraging to see kind of game by game, I think, that most of the new players are starting to make more of an impact every week, and some quicker than others. I've been very happy with Kamada to begin with, although he's not had as much time recently. Rovella, very happy with his impact very quickly. Castellanos has done what we've been pleading previous Vice Mobiles to do, which is take his chance when he gets it. So yeah, that's very encouraging. I think there's still a few performances that could get better. But yeah, I mean, Guendouzi, I think we know he's a useful player. He's going to add more depth to this squad, more quality to this squad. He's got really good experience. He's a good age. I mean, it's a good signing. But yeah, I think it's still at a point where, as we previously discussed, it's still quite hard to say what the first choice midfield is, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, absolutely, it's a great thing. I'm gonna say something. If Rovella doesn't get called in the next national team match, that's going to be incredible. He's playing really, really well, starting pretty much every single game for Lazio. High level, not only defending, but even moving the ball. And our Italian midfield is so terrible that not calling Rovella would be an astonishing decision from Spalletti.
Well, prepare to be astonished because there's not been a great track record of Lazio players being called to the national team. I mean, Spalletti, to his credit, has been better than Mancini was at rewarding, form with call-ups. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if he will or not, because November, while everyone in Scotland is reclining and relaxing, already qualified, the Italians will be sweating as they wait to see what happens in these final two games. So it's a lot of pressure. I don't know if you will be bringing in a lot of new players.
Wow. Well, I didn't see that coming, honestly.
Prepare for a lot of this in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, on paper, we should have 2 games that we should be able to win. I'm already, my son started to say, hey, Dad, we have to buy the ticket for the Macedonia game because it's in Rome. So
yeah,
we're going, probably. I hope even some Lazio players will be there joining me, but on the pitch, not on the stands.
For some reason, it sounds really familiar hearing an Italian saying that North Macedonia is a game that you should win.
You're making fun of me. Okay. It's your moment.
It's not often that Scotland fans get the opportunity to take the high ground on these things.
No. You have to take the opportunity when you have it. So,
no, I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm not sure. Honestly,
I'm not sure, but I feel relatively confident.
I'm not convinced. Honestly, I'm absolutely not convinced. Especially seeing our last performance. But before we wrap it up, Alasdair, so when are we going to check the Stadio Flaminio?
I don't know. We need to fix a time, Vittorio.
Okay.
You wanted to do that right now, sure?
Yeah, let's go.
Part of the podcast, me opening up my calendar.
Well, we promise you guys that we're gonna do it. So we're gonna find a moment. The fixture, honestly, it's crazy because we're playing Wednesday and then Monday. So we're not playing this weekend, and then we're playing next week, Monday and Friday, which doesn't make absolutely sense. But this is Serie A football.
I forgot there was a Friday game after the Monday game.
Yeah, obviously, just to not give us enough time to recover.
That is a bit mad.
Yeah.
Fiorentina on the Monday.
I think it's Bologna on Monday and Fiorentina on Wednesday, on Friday.
It's definitely Fiorentina on Monday because I've just done my accreditation request.
Yeah, Fiorentina on Monday and Bologna on Friday.
Okay. Ooh, that's a tough couple of games as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to be back after Feyenoord Lazio. So, guys, please rate and review the podcast. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. And you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you have your social media account. follow us, and take care.
Cheers.